vehicle, that you go ahead and actually get out of the vehicle and find cover underground in a ditch, in a safe building somewhere. The last thing you guys want to do is be trying to outrun it. I know that's what they show in Hollywood, but this is real life. These tornadoes will easily pick up your cars and throw them like a child playing with Matchbox. That's the last thing you want to see happen. Matchbox, Hot Wheels, you name it. All right, I do see a strong hail core right on top of 285. That's going to be where we're seeing the strongest amount of hail. We're talking tennis ball sized hail with the last update. Let's go ahead and double check that update, see if we're getting anything out of the ordinary. We are actually still getting that same thing. We're looking about ping pong sized hail associated with this. All right, we're keeping that in mind. So at least it's a little bit better, but within the tornado warning area, we are getting about 2-inch in diameter hail. That's tennis ball size, guys. Tennis balls. Ooh, that's the last thing you want hitting your windshield, because it will go through that windshield. Of course, confirmed tornado located 11 miles southeast of Fort Stockton. It's moving east at about 15 miles an hour. So yeah, you certainly think you can outrun it, but when you have the winds from around the storm, not just near the tornado, that's where it can affect your driving. Of course, there's never always a straight line directly away from the storm. Tornado warning in effect for south of Fort Stockton, 285. I'm also seeing, at least within that purple hail core, we are getting from the radar 10.7 inches of rain per hour. Now, granted, that's not going to hang over the entirety of the region, but that's enough that you realize you can't see anything out there. So make sure you are taking cover immediately. Make sure you are in your safe place, because we have that confirmed tornado warning right now south of Fort Stockton. Let's go ahead and actually zoom out on that radar here, see what else we have going on. All right, we have that tornado. We have not just the tornado warning, we also have that flash flood warning. That's actually going to be for downtown Fort Stockton. We've got so much rain over the last just couple of hours with how strong these storms are. That's where we're starting to see just a whole lot of activity. We are getting that flash flood warning taking effect. Of course, we got Interstate 10 right there. You guys always take Interstate 10. Make sure that you are staying safe, you are staying aware of this. Now, let me go ahead and actually put on a track for this. See exactly where this tornado warning storm is heading. All right, here we go. Here we got actually a little bit of heavy rain across the region. I have meteorologist Aurora Murray with me. She is helping man the social media aspect of a lot of this. Go ahead and give us both a follow. We are giving constant updates as this entire warning is continuing. All right, let's see. Weather spotters confirm that tornado. It is heading mostly in those rural areas of the region. We're talking near Bakersfield by about 5:01 p.m. Yes, that is beyond where the actual tornado warning time expires, but hey, it's always changing. Weather's always changing here. We know that pretty well. So here's what I got for you guys. Still a lot of that activity. Hail sized 2 inches in diameter. Let me go ahead and actually check in with the National Weather Service, see if they are getting any more reports, even from the emergency management team. Yes, what do we got?
Check that storm to the north of Kermit.
Yes.
We got a severe warning storm now heading there.
Excellent. Severe warned storm moving toward Odessa right now, and that is the latest update from Aurora Murray. That is actually the exact same storm that is containing that tornado warning until 4:30 p.m. Let's go ahead and actually get a reading off of this real quick, see what they're saying is associated with this. All right, we are looking 2-inch hail. Okay, we're talking tennis ball sized hail, guys, moving from Kermit to Goldsmith, Penwell, and moving just to the outskirts of West Odessa. We also have that radar indicated 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts on top of the tornado too, guys. Make sure you are taking cover. This includes places like Kermit, Goldsmith, West Odessa, No Trees, and Penwell. This includes Interstate 20 between mile marker 95 and 110. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from these severe storms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement or a small central room in a sturdy structure. For your protection, move into an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. The tornado watch remains in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. Wow, this is just a whole lot of activity, guys. We are making sure that we are keeping you safe, and you know what? We are still getting that tornado. It was spotted a bit earlier. Right now, it is just going to be radar indicated rotation. Storm spotters have not caught that tornado coming back down on the ground. But you know what? It is still certainly possible it can go back down on the ground. We are looking at a large-scale severe weather outbreak as we head into this afternoon and into this evening. We are looking at the hail size within the tornado warning, about 1 3/4 inches of size. So a little bit smaller than a tennis ball, but still very destructive, very damaging as well. All right, got a lot of stuff going on across this region. Make sure that even if you are not in any of these warned areas, we are still seeing a whole lot of activity. Look at this little mess of a coloring book. All right, let me break it down for you guys. If you are in the pink, you're going to be under that severe thunderstorm watch. If you are in the yellow, you're going to be under that tornado watch. If you are under the little bit more orangish yellow, you are going to be under severe thunderstorm warning. If you are under that red, you are under that tornado warning. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I believe we are still going to see a lot more of this stuff as we continue into this afternoon and into this evening. Still just a lot of activity across the region. And you know what? I'm going to take just a small, quick little break. I'm going to have meteorologist Aurora Murray. Are you okay to jump on and keep us all updated with everything?
You go get a mic check real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and get the mic check real quick. We're going to keep you updated with a lot of this activity. And you know what? It's not just going to be us. We're starting to see a little bit of activity out toward Abilene as well. We're starting to see a little bit of these severe storms beginning to pop up as well. I'm going to go ahead and jump on some social media, keep you guys updated with a lot of this activity. Again, if you were just joining us, we have multiple tornado warnings across the entirety of the region. We are looking at 4:45, that tornado warning south of Fort Stockton. We are also looking at 4:30 for that tornado warning, now moving just outside of Kermit and moving a little bit closer toward Odessa. Still seeing a lot of activity as we head into this evening. We're looking at very strong winds. We are looking at large-sized hail. We are looking at a whole lot of activity across the entirety of this region. We're looking at very heavy rainfall, especially on places like Monahans, Fort Stockton, now under that flash flood warning too. Oh my goodness, it is just quite a day. We want to make sure that you guys are weather aware, you are prepared for a lot of this activity. Isn't that right, Aurora?
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. We are tracking these storms, and they're really beginning to fire up today. We have lots of these storms really making its way into areas for us here in Odessa and even Midland. That severe warned storm is now a tornado warning out there near Kermit. It's still on the ground, also near Fort Stockton. Lots of activity going on with this severe weather right now, and we are continuing to monitor these storms as they're dropping down tennis ball size hail and also golf ball size hail as well. So we have the threat of the tornadoes. I'm gonna go ahead and remove some of that satellite just so I could go ahead and zoom in and let you see where this tornado warned storm is. So right now that tornado warning is until about 4:30, but it can continue to gain strength because we now have a severe thunderstorm warning for areas right here on the western side of Ector County, severe thunderstorm warning until 5 p.m. And as you can see, that tornado warned storm is underneath that severe thunderstorm warning. Now it can gain strength. We're getting those storms moving in from the south, passing through Monahans right now. Severe thunderstorm warning making its way through Monahans. We're looking at around 4:45. So lots of activity going on with these storms as we're making our way into the evening. Now we want to make sure you are staying prepared and continuing to follow us online. We are streaming this right now as well on Facebook. So if you have to take shelter and possibly you don't have access to a television or even to get our streaming on a laptop or computer, but you do have your phone, please make sure to follow us on Facebook as we are live right now covering these storms. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning right there for us on the western part of Ector County. And that's severe thunderstorm warning through West Odessa. So West Odessa right now will be a great time to go ahead and make sure you have a safe space to go to in case that tornado warned storm continues. We are underneath that tornado warning right there passing through Kermit, and it is dropping tennis ball size hail. We're getting large hail well reported with these storms. Make sure you are taking cover right now. And again, another storm coming in from the south, passing through Monahans, and we're looking at that dropping as well. Golf ball size hail, and there are some areas further off towards the south. We're going to go ahead and look at Fort Stockton, a nice hook on the storm just south of Fort Stockton. It's passing over Highway 285. Now this tornado warning is until 4:45 this afternoon. And again, as these storms continue throughout the day today, we're still underneath those tornado watches until 10 p.m. So any thunderstorm that does make its way through the area can turn into a tornado warning or even a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, looking at this storm, we're going to see the timing on it. I'm going to get the core right here for you, making its way into the area for us here in Midland and Odessa. So no trees, 4:45. We're looking around Odessa about 5:18 and around 5:45 for us here in Midland with this tornado warned storm. Now the tornado can fall apart, but it's still underneath a severe thunderstorm warning in areas already for us here in Ector County on West Odessa. So as the storm is passing through those severe warned storms, it can also gain strength. So do make sure you have a place to take shelter when these tornado warned storms come through, and have your safe space already ready for you and your family. We want to make sure that you are staying safe, and you do want to go ahead and take cover when these tornado warned storms come through. So making its way into Odessa, a few storms already popping up for us here on 20. If you're traveling on I-20, these storms are passing through. If you're heading out, just wait a while, because these storms are going to continue to fire up for us as we're heading further into the afternoon and into this evening. Again, a confirmed tornado on the ground. That tornado warned storm till about 4:30. Now at 4:30, it may go ahead and gain more strength with these storms firing up if it does expire. But again, these storms are starting to form a pretty squall line. So we're looking at gusty winds, damaging winds being the concerns with these storms as well. To the south, we still have that tornado warned storm in Fort Stockton till about 4:45. Right now it's passing over Highway 285. It made its way through Fort Stockton, and there is a flash flood warning as well. Lots of rainfall with these storms. So unfortunately, sometimes when we get these tornado warned storms coming through, they could possibly be rain wrapped, which means that you won't be able to see it. So this is a really dangerous situation to be out at any events. If you have anyone that are out in events in Midland, Odessa, now is the time to pack it up and get home or get to that safe space or inside an interior building, because these storms are going to continue to fire up throughout the afternoon. We're going to go ahead and put a track on that storm again. We're looking at the timing for it around Odessa about 5:15, and that's making its way through Odessa, and it's already seeing some of these storms popping up in West Odessa. So downtown Odessa, within the next 45 minutes, we could possibly get more of this rain making its way in. But we are seeing these storms really start to pop up. They're firing up out there, and we are noticing that these storms are continuing to build. A little bit towards the north, we have a few thunderstorms as well. We're going to look a little bit over in the northeastern part of the basin. Big Spring right now, you are in the clear, but these storms are going to continue to fire up into this evening. So you do see what we are seeing right now. So do be prepared. Go ahead and get that preparedness kit ready. And again, know where your safe space is. Now we have another storm moving through Pecos. It is a severe warned storm just south of Pecos right now until about 4:45, passing over Highway 20. Traveling on Highway 20 right now is a very dangerous situation. We're running to all of these storms colliding in, and it can make those roads very, very slick. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in on this tornado warned storm. It's about 4:29 right now. It's looking to expire at just about 4:30. Now, again, underneath that severe thunderstorm warning for us here, making its way in West Odessa. Odessa, we're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning, and we're zooming in. If you live on University in West Odessa near 42nd Street, we are seeing those storms starting to move in. Also, areas further off towards the south in I-20 area. Now this storm is going to continue to move through the area. We're looking at it heading near the loop 338, probably within the next 5 minutes. Most of that rain falling, again, slick spots that we're starting to see. West Odessa underneath that severe thunderstorm warning, and these storms can continue to grow. Again, we are still seeing that severe thunderstorm warning as well as that tornado warning storm. It's about 4:29, 4:30. Okay, that tornado warning storm has expired for areas passing through Kermit. But you have seen how these storms are now colliding together. With these storms, we are going to get very, very gusty winds moving through and large hail, what is still causing lots of concerns as you're heading throughout your day. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together as these storms are starting to collide a little bit more. We'll start to get them bowing out a little bit as well. So again, we're looking at around the next 20 minutes passing through Odessa. Fully is right now in West Odessa, Midland area around 5:25, and then Stanton just about 6 o'clock. Again, we're getting these storms firing up. So as they're firing up in different areas, they can become severe warned. And throughout the day, we have the risk of large hail with these storms. So if you are out at any events and you're in Midland, go ahead and get in your cars and go home or find a sturdy building nearby. If your home is too far, do not take into consideration that you could leave once the thunderstorm is over you, because we have the warnings of those severe storms dropping large hail. We're talking about tennis ball size hail, even golf ball size hail reported. If you are outdoors and that hail falls, it could injure you very, very severely. So again, as these severe thunderstorms are moving through, we're getting a lot of rain with it as well, and it can cause some flooding on the roads. You do not want to run into a situation where you're on the road and it's flooded, and then we have large hail as well. So never try to outrun these storms as they're moving into the area. Odessa right now getting these thunderstorms, not severe warned just yet in parts on the Loop 338, but it is starting to rain. You may see those clouds getting very, very dark and ominous as you're heading out. West Odessa is underneath that severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to go ahead and zoom in out there. If you are traveling areas on 42nd Street, it is on that path as well. Just to the east of 42nd Street and to the west, areas over near Loop 338 are starting to get these storms moving through. Yukon Road traveling as well. It is making its way to those areas, and on I-20. We're looking at just around Dixie Boulevard, those storms really starting to fire up, and also areas near University. So if you are in those areas, you do want to make sure you have ways to stay safe and also know where your safe space is, because the storm that is colliding with the storm from Monahans coming in from the south, it was tornado warned from Kermit, and it was dropping down almost tennis ball size hail. So looking at these storms making their way through the area, and we're going to continue to keep you updated. We're going to zoom into this tornado warned storm just south of Fort Stockton. It's still going to until about 4:45 this afternoon. It's passing over Highway 285 right now. So as we're continuing, we're going to continue to stream on our Facebook. Please make sure you download our NewsWest 9 app, because we are going to send those alerts as these storms continue throughout the afternoon and into this evening. Again, we have those severe warned storms. You see those storms coming in from the south. They're coming in from the west. And as we head further into this evening, we are going to continue to see them collide and fire up. And that's where we're going to get lots of heavy downpours as well as gusty winds. The hazard with these storms, frequent lightning. Let's go ahead and take a look at those lightning strikes right now. As you are out, or you know anyone that is out right now, you do want to make sure that you are finding your safe space. Lots of lightning associated with these thunderstorms. Again, I know many of you may be out. It is the weekend. Parties may be going on. It is the weekend of Cinco de Mayo. Lots of events taking place. Even the fair at the Ector County Coliseum. If you are in those areas, you do want to make sure that you are finding areas to take cover and take shelter, because these storms are continuing to fire up today. Now I'm going to go ahead and take those lightning strikes off of there. Again, these lightning strikes will continue and be one of the hazards, especially if you are outdoors. We're seeing a nice rotation with this tornado warned storm just south of Fort Stockton on Highway 2 85. Again, this tornado warning storm is just south of Fort Stockton on Highway 285. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning associated with it as well, passing through Highway 10. So if you're on I-10 or if you know anyone traveling in those areas, we have also a flash flood warning as well. These storms are really dumping down lots of rainfall, and it is causing flooding in these areas on 285 and I-10 passing through Fort Stockton. Again, large hail is the threat with these storms. We have another severe warned storm that's just south of Pecos. We're looking at just near Highway 17, and then zooming in on County Road 133, and then also we see the major core on County Road 124, and then heading in near areas as well. We are seeing these storms really continue to fire up throughout the afternoon, and this evening they will continue as well. We're looking at Monahans underneath that severe thunderstorm warning until about 4:45. We got about 10 more minutes with these severe warned storms, but again, they can be reissued as the storms are beginning to continue to make their way into the area. We're looking at Odessa getting lots of rainfall as we're heading into around 4:45. We are going to continue to see the severe thunderstorm just behind it on West Odessa, Goldsmith, Pinwell area. We're going to go ahead and zoom in on 20. If you're traveling on 20, you are running into lots and lots of rainfall. West Odessa underneath this severe thunderstorm warning till 5 p.m. And that's also including Kermit as well. Kermit is still underneath this severe thunderstorm warning, and Wink. Now we're starting to get those storms coming in and colliding. So the direction of these storms, as you can see, some of them are going to the north and some of them are heading off east. And we are seeing them collide as well as they're starting to group from different directions. So still underneath that severe thunderstorm warning near Kermit, also near Wink. Like I said, you could see these storms really firing up from the south, from the west, and they are heading towards the north and towards the east and northeast. Lots of polygons on there heading in different directions, and that's why you want to make sure you are staying prepared, because when these storms collide, they can gain strength. And then we also could still have the possibility of tornadoes. We're monitoring this storm just to the south of Pecos right now. It is showing a little bit more hail out there. We're having reports of golf ball size hail with this storm as it's moving through. We'll go ahead and put a track on this storm heading into this afternoon and evening hours. We're going to continue to see this threat all throughout the night. So this storm passing through Monahans just about 5:53. And we are going to continue to see areas near I-20 get hit with rounds and rounds of rain, especially in those construction areas. That's where we could see some flooding. And if you could avoid traveling, please make other plans today, because along with these storms, we have the threat of flooding. And with those threats of flooding, you do not want to get stuck as these storms are firing up, because they have large hail associated with it, and it will pose a dangerous situation for yourself or others in the car as well. If you work outdoors, now's the time to go ahead and just take cover as these severe thunderstorms are rolling through as well. We're going to go ahead and look at image that was sent in from Fort Stockton, courtesy of Justin Weaver. That is a tornado on the ground that is reported with that severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning near Fort Stockton. Again, that is the tornado that is on the ground. This was sent in from Justin Weaver from the National Weather Service. Thank you, Justin, for sending this in. This is a tornado that is reported on the ground as we're heading throughout the afternoon and evening, continuing to get these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. Now, this is in the Fort Stockton area. We are seeing these reports come in. We've had reports of golf ball size hail, as well as reports of tennis ball size hail with some of these storms. So the tornado warned storm that you just saw right there, thank you, Justin, for sending that in. We are seeing reports of tornadoes as well as hail and very, very gusty winds. We are seeing that Fort Stockton area, just south of Fort Stockton, Highway 285. This is that tornado warned storm, and I'm going to go ahead and go back and show you the tornado that was caught on the ground. Reports of tornadoes seen on the ground and confirmed in Fort Stockton. Justin Weaver sent this in, and as you can see, it is a pretty good sized tornado, and it's also showing that it can also have rain around it. As we get these severe thunderstorms colliding colliding together, we could get a rain-wrapped tornado that is very, very dangerous because you cannot see it, and then there could be a hail core right behind it. So you have the threat of a tornado and also it causing visibility issues and large hail. So again, as you're heading throughout your day today, make sure you are being prepared and know where your safe spaces are, because these severe storms are continuing as we head into the evening. So we're going to go ahead and look back at radar, and I believe we see Monaghan's area getting lots of rain as well. Underneath that severe thunderstorm warning, we're seeing reports of over an inch of rainfall, and our flooding concerns are going up as we head later on into this afternoon and into this evening. Now it's just about 4:40 right now. We have this severe thunderstorm warning till 5 p.m. So as we're heading throughout the evening, these storms can be refreshed as far as the warning and extended. I'm gonna go ahead and put a track on this storm right now. Midland, we're starting to get those areas of that rain moving in. It's becoming a little bit of a mush. These storms are starting to collide, so we are seeing lots and lots of rainfall with these severe storms. So I'm going to go ahead and put a track on those. We can look at these storms making its way through Andrews, just about 4:45. So within the next 5 minutes, that severe warning storm further off towards the north, we could get these storms kicking into those areas, as well as further to the south near Kermit. We're seeing Midland about 5:42. And then also making its way on I-20, heading near Big Spring within the next hour. You do see that these storms are starting to collide from the south and also from the west, heading to the northeast and to the east. They're starting to have lots and lots of heavy rainfall with them, and really starting to gain some strength with some of the areas around it. Now, as we head into this evening, our threat is still there. We're looking at this threat lasting till about 9 p.m. as we're starting to get those storms coming in. Now, you can see even those storms firing up again further off towards the south, and then also areas further off towards the north. We're looking at that tornado warning storm now, a new tornado warning storm out there for areas south of Fort Stockton. It has lots of rotation with the storm, and we're looking at Highway 285. And this was around 4:45 where we're seeing this to expire. We're going to continue to monitor this tornado warning storm just south of Fort Stockton. Again, we did get reports of that tornado that was on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and show you the tornado that is on the ground in the Fort Stockton area. And we have rain around it. It could be a rain-wrapped tornado, which is going to make it difficult to see. This was a picture sent in from Justin Weaver. We're continuing to track those tornado warning storms in the Fort Stockton area and getting that thunder rolling in. I'm hearing that thunder make its way right now as I hear it in the studio. I know I'm hearing that thunder, lightning also associated with these storms. Lots and lots of lightning. Let's go ahead and switch back to radar. I'm going to show you how much lightning is associated with these storms and why you should go ahead and take cover. It's not just because of tornadoes. It's not just because of hail. It's also lightning. Lightning is one of the leading causes of death in severe storms, and we are getting lots of lightning reports right now. If you know anyone that works outdoors in the areas for us here near Monaghan's, Kermit, Wink, even passing through Midland and Odessa, look at all of these lightning strikes, continuing to see them make their way to the area. Any events outdoors, they have to be canceled right now. You have to postpone them, especially near Midland. We're seeing lots of lightning, also heavy rainfall that could cause flooding. It is posing us into a risky situation and giving us rain that can cause flooding. Looking and zooming out just a bit, I want to show you these polygons. They are going in different directions. You can see Monaghan's, where we have a severe warning storm. It was coming from the south. We also have the severe warning storm near Kermit now coming from the south with that same cell that was coming from the west. That was the tornado warning storm. So we're getting these strong cells and they're starting to collide. When they start to collide, we could get lots of heavy downpours and even hail and spin-ups out of nowhere, and that poses the danger of rain-wrapped tornadoes. When you can get a rain-wrapped tornado, it is going to be difficult to see. and hard to determine what is on the ground, even underneath these severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, we don't have any tornado warnings right now for Ector County or even for areas near Monahans. That tornado warning has expired near Kermit, but now we're seeing all of these storms beginning to collide together, and we're starting to get that rainfall making its way for us here in Midland and Odessa. Lots of lightning strikes. I'm hearing thunder out there. You do want to make sure you get into your safe space. Don't try to outrun these storms. We got some very strong storms that will continue as we head into this evening. This is, I want to say, the first round. We're going through the first round, getting all of that rain. And sometimes when we have storms that move through, and they move through earlier, when we start to get that risk, we could set up the environment for even more thunderstormings becoming stronger later on into the evening. So this is our first round. We still have the threat of storms making its way into the area as we head further into the evening today. So make sure you are continuing to stay prepared and stay aware. And with us, as we're tracking these storms, we're looking at those storms colliding. They are dumping down lots of rainfall. There may be some reports of floods out there, especially areas that are prone to flooding, areas near University and Odessa, 42nd Street, Dixie. You may be running into some flooded roads out there if you're traveling on 42nd Street, as well as making your way onto 191 and I-20. And on Faudree. Those are those main areas where we do see lots and lots of flooding out there in Odessa. It only takes a little bit of rain, and we know that. We know that we could get that flooding areas in Midland as well, especially if you're traveling areas on Industrial and heading near the airport. Your flights may be canceled right now. They may be delayed. You may just want to wait it out because we're getting these storms moving in and really firing up. You do see a little bit of a hole. That's where our radar is at the National Weather Service. I'm hearing heavy rainfall right now, even in the studio, and we're continuing to track these storms. Now, although they're not severe warned, we're still getting lots of rain and reports of hail, quarter-size hail with these storms, and then the severe warned storm right now until about 5 p.m. It's 4:45 right now. So as we're heading into the 5 o'clock hour, we're continuing to track those storms. These severe warned storms can get reissued with lots of heavy downpour. Flooding is the concern, as well as lightning. Flooding is one of the leading causes as well of putting people through injuries into situations that is dangerous. So you do want to make sure you are avoiding flooded roadways. If you are at any events right now, go inside to your nearest gas station, to the nearest area, to the sturdy building. If it's your local HEB, if it is a gas station, you do not want to try to outrun these storms and get yourself in a situation to where you can run into a flooded road while we're continuing to get these storms moving through. If you are at home, go ahead and know where your safe space is at, because these storms are continuing throughout the afternoon, and we're getting reports of large hail and lots of heavy rain and gusty winds. You're going to feel those winds coming through, and if you're trying to outrun them, it will pose a very dangerous situation. So we're going to zoom in right now near I-20, passing through Odessa area on Highway 385. We're seeing those storms. Heavy rainfall is moving through. No severe warned storms for most of Odessa, but West Odessa is underneath that severe thunderstorm warning, making its way through University. We're getting large hail reports as well near University and also on 42nd Street and on I-20. Lots of rainfall associated with that storm. We're going to go ahead up. Just a flash flood warning was issued for Ector County as well as Midland County. We are seeing lots and lots of rainfall with these storms. Flash flood warnings posing dangerous situations. Still, that tornado warning storm has been extended till about 5:30. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the picture of the tornado that was sent in from Justin Weaver from the National Weather Service. This was the tornado warned storm just about 15 minutes ago near Fort Stockton, and we saw this on the ground. It can become rain wrapped, and this is the threat that we're continuing to have today. With these severe thunderstorms, they can turn into a tornado at any point, especially when we're underneath that tornado watch. We are underneath that tornado watch until 10 p.m. this evening, and also a severe thunderstorm watches as well. We have that flash flood warning right here for us, making its way through Midland area, Ector County, also passing through Monahans and Kermit. Lots and lots of rainfall is being reported with these storms. And we'll go ahead and take those clouds off of there. You may see some ominous clouds moving towards Midland. We are seeing these storms really begin to fire up and posing those threats. Jordan, are you seeing any reports of any roads or any hail reports coming in with these storms right now?
As a matter of fact, here's what I'm getting. I'm getting more ideas about this tornado out in Fort Stockton. It's kind of been roping out a lot. That picture that was sent in from the National Weather Service, that one has since moved on, but another one is in progress right now. It says about 19 miles southeast of Fort Stockton. I'm not getting any significant reports of flooding, but I can certainly hear just from outside the station here. It's a complete mess out there of what we have going on. So I'll do my best to explain it. We have a big squall line. It is moving across the entire western side of our region. Now, the squall line, it's all a bunch of connected storms, with the exception of the one in Fort Stockton. That's going to be the one with that tornado warning. Now, the ones out toward Monahans, Kermit, Andrews, moving into Odessa and in Midland, those are all severe warning. And yes, they are all separate severe warnings, but it's because they're all kind of moving in different directions. We also have, on top of it all, a flash flood warning in effect for Fort Stockton and now for Odessa and extending out past basically through Monahans as well. So yeah, it's an absolute mess out there, but it's also a confusing mess. That's the best way I can use to explain it, just because of how big of a mess it is. And you know what? Hey, we were expecting a big mess today in terms of severe weather. And you know what? I don't think it's going to stop either. It's going to be going on like this for the next couple of hours at least.
We are really seeing lots of rainfall. That tornado warned storm that we had the tornado report on the ground, it's still moving to the south and it has lots of strength with it. We're still seeing that hook indicated with that tornado warned storm in south of Fort Stockton, just on Highway 285. Now, it is in a more rural area, but if you know anyone that does travel Highway 285, let them know to pull over. We have tornado warned storm just south of Fort Stockton. Now, this severe thunderstorm warning just south of Pecos, we're seeing even some of that quarter size, even some golf ball size hail reported passing over Highway 285. And then looking at the flash flood warning for us here, making its way in Odessa. Lots of flooding concerns with these storms as they're starting to collide together, forming more of a squall line. Instead of the isolated storms, we're getting them colliding together. But when we head into the evening, we can still have some of those pop-up storms that can still have lots and lots of rotation with them, because we still have that tornado watch until about 10 p.m. Now, that tornado watch is for areas near Monahans, Crane, Rankin, and then also Big Lake as well. Storms have not made their way fully across the Permian Basin, but we have a long night ahead of us. We're looking at the storms to end at about 10 p.m. as far as our threat for a tornado and also severe weather as well. Most of us here in the Permian Basin underneath that severe thunderstorm watch. Any storms that move through can become severe. And then seeing near Andrews, this storm right now, we're seeing at about 5 p.m. is when it should start to begin to expire, but lots of rainfall. Andrews, we're getting that storm moving in, and just a little bit of that light rainfall beginning for you, but behind it is some heavier rainfall where we see those reds, those oranges starting to pop up. That's when we're starting to see more of those storms really drop lots and lots of rainfall. Again, I'm going to zoom out and you're going to see all these storms coming in different directions. Again, the Fort Stockton tornado heading to the south, Sanderson area, just make sure that you have a severe weather plan, because we're sending down a tornado watch in areas in the lower Trans-Pecos, as well as stretching down into Big Bend area. And then even areas for us here on I-20, you're seeing lots of these storms beginning to collide, coming from the south, the west, and even areas to the north. We're seeing them kind of push near Lamesa, getting heavy rainfall. No severe warned storms at this moment, but behind you is more and more rain that is dropping down, quarter size to even tennis ball size hail. We're looking at the hail threat kind of diminishing a little bit more as they start to collide together. They're weakening as far as hail and tornado risk, but we're getting more and more rain, which poses our flood risk. And we don't want to count out the fact that we have that lightning risk with us as well. I'm going to go ahead and show you how much lightning is associated with these storms as they are moving through. If you have any outdoor events that you have plans to attend to within the next hour, you may want to rearrange your plans because lightning is one of the leading causes of injuries and death during severe thunderstorms. And as you can see, we have lots and lots of lightning associated with these storms moving through the areas, passing through Odessa, passing through Midland, Pleasant Farm area, even making its way to areas near Greenwood. We're starting to see the storms move in. Stanton will get that rain within the next 20 minutes. And the storms really don't have a specific direction right now. They're all colliding together. So we're getting lots and lots of heavy rainfall with these storms as they're pushing through. Some of the severe warned storms have now expired, but still in West Odessa, we're seeing that severe warned storm extend a little bit more. And we're continuing to monitor that until about 5 o'clock. We're seeing that it may expire. Now just extended a little bit more for West Odessa, Kermit, and Goldsmith till about 5 p.m. Again, lots and lots of rainfall associated with these storms. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the severe tornado watches and warnings tonight. Just want to go ahead and show you what's going on as far as our threat throughout the evening. That red polygon, that is that tornado warned storm just south of Fort Stockton, crossing over Highway 285. And then you also have those lighter yellow areas shaded further off towards the southern part of the Permian Basin into the Trans-Pecos. Now that is including Ward County, Crane County, Upton County, Reagan County, Crockett County. We're also looking at Reeves County, Pecos County, and Terrell County, as well as Brewster. All those areas shaded in yellow. That lighter yellow are tornado watches. Any severe storms that move through those areas can spawn up a tornado. Now we have those tornado watches until 10 p.m. this evening. Now looking towards the north, we have all of that pink. That is the severe thunderstorm watch, which means that all the ingredients are there for us to have severe thunderstorms. And you could see those a little bit darker yellows, that's those severe thunderstorm warnings. So when those storms move through the watch area, they can spawn up into a severe thunderstorm warning. And some of these storms still could have some rotation, although in areas in the pink is not underneath a tornado watch. That does not rule out the fact that a tornado cannot occur or happen. Now we're looking at this threat sticking with us as we're heading further into the evening. We are seeing these storms firing up even more after the 6 o'clock hour. Right now, they're kind of colliding together. Again, looking at radar, that tornado warned storm until about 5:30. So right now, if they're extending it for about, I want to say 30 minutes, it is not moving too rapidly. It is gaining its strength. And it's also getting a little bit more rain associated with it, which will allow it to become rain wrapped. When it becomes rain wrapped, it is hard to see. It is very hard to see a rain wrapped tornado, which it is very important for you to stay weather aware when we get these storms moving in. And with a rain wrapped tornado, you will get large hail also, and that also poses a threat. So we're seeing this tornado warning extending till about 5:30, passing over Highway 285. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the lightning associated with that storm. Lots of lightning as well. That also poses the threat with this tornado warned storm that's just south of Fort Stockton. Right now, that is the only tornado warned storm that we do have in our area. Flash flood warnings for areas in Fort Stockton, which means that some roads are flooded right now, and throughout the evening, we are going to expect those roads to continue to flood or anticipate flooding. So any creeks, streams, or any areas will get flooding concerns, and if they're by roadways, it will cause flooding on the roadways. And we also can have flooding on roadways that are not near streams or creeks. We are looking at a severe thunderstorm warning until about 5:30. Areas near just south of Pecos, passing over 285. Just south of Pecos, and looking towards the area for us here in Millen and Odessa, those storms are colliding together. So we are seeing lots and lots of rainfall. Right now, our main threat is that flash flooding. So that could cause some concerns as you're heading out. Roadways will flood very, very quickly as these storms are starting to move through. We have those severe warning storms till about 5 p.m. West Odessa, Goldsmith, and Kermit. We are getting reports of tennis ball size hail in some areas, quarter size hail, and also pea size hail. So variation as to the hail size that is beginning to fall down, and we're continuing to monitor this system because we are underneath this severe storm threat until about 2. We started off seeing those thunderstorms roll in. We had golf ball size hail reported already in areas near Snyder, but tonight, take a look. We are in the enhanced risk, and that's covering most of us here in the Permian Basin, stretching down into the Trans-Pecos area, even heading off towards the east. Travel plans, you want to stay weather aware. Now, we're seeing where this enhanced risk is, the risk of more widespread storms. We're looking at the widespread event of thunderstorms, also the potential of some isolated or even combined tornadoes. So that threat still does last with us, and where we see in that yellow at, it can become a little more isolated, but the threat is still there. So you do want to make sure you are staying weather aware throughout the afternoon. The rest of the afternoon, we're now entering into the evening hours, 4:59 right now, 5 o'clock. So let's go ahead and check on those storms. Those severe warning storms that were going to expire just around 5 p.m. We're starting to see them expire in areas near West Odessa. There is still that severe warning storm till about 5:30, making its way through Wink and Kermit and passing through Monahans. Lots of heavy downpours right now. Again, lots of rainfall associated with these storms. We're getting them colliding together, so that means we're going to get lots and lots of rain. It's becoming more of a rain event right now. But after this passes through, we do still have the chance of thunderstorms and even the risk of tornadoes into this evening. We're continuing to monitor these storms as we head further into the evening as well, checking on the severe warning storm till about 5:30 just south of Pecos, and then making its way through Fort Stockton. Another storm that made its way, but it has so much strength, down so much rain, it causes that flash flooding as well. Now that single cell dumped down so much rain and now is a tornado warned storm, and that tornado will expire just around 5:30. Again, it can be rain wrapped because it is a little bit slow moving, and we're getting lots of rain reported with that tornado moving through Fort Stockton. So we are seeing heavy downpours and flooding concerns right now making its way through Midland and even Odessa. These storms do not have a formed line. They're kind of colliding together. So we're going to have these storms move in, and we're seeing areas near Midland making its way through Loop 250, traveling on I-20, on 349 if you're on Highway 220, and then also areas near Greenwood will start to get that rain just within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Again, we can have heavier downpours, and then we're looking at Stanton getting that rain as well within the next 10 to 15 minutes with those storms coming in from the south. Now, although we don't have any severe warning storms right now, at any point in time, these storms can become severe. So we are going to continue to monitor them as we're heading throughout the day. Big Spring, right now, there is no storms making its way into the area. Lamesa getting lots of rainfall and no severe warning storms, just heavy downpours. If you're traveling on 385, we are really seeing lots and lots of rainfall on the span of that, even stretching to the south. You can see from 385, if you're heading in from areas from the south all the way up towards the north, you are going to run into those storms. So if that is in your commute, just be weather aware. And we are also seeing lots and lots of rainfall in areas right there near Andrews and passing through 115, and then also near Kermit. If you travel on 302, Highway 302, lots of rainfall underneath that severe thunderstorm warning as well. And then we're looking at areas near Wink, and then even for us here in Odessa and Midland, lots of rainfall and those flash flood warnings. You do want to make sure you're not getting stuck out there. We know there are lots of events right now. If anyone is concerned with tornadoes making their way through Midland and Odessa, that is not our threat at this moment. it is lots and lots of rainfall, heavy downpours, flash flooding, and even lightning. We do have that severe warning storm that's moving towards the north, but right now these storms are starting to really collide. I'm going to zoom out and show you where we're seeing that tornado warned storm just to the south of Fort Stockton. So looking ahead throughout this evening, we're still going to continue to monitor these watches and also these warnings, because we are going to see that threat throughout the evening. We have until about 10 p.m. that we are going to see a severe thunderstorm watch for the areas to the north in the pink, and then around 10 p.m. a tornado watch for areas shaded in yellow. Now you do see that red polygon, that is the tornado warning that's just south of Fort Stockton right now. And then we also have a little bit of a different color with the yellow. The darker yellow are those severe warned storms, and then we have the green out there with those flash flood warnings. Pink areas, that is the area where we have those severe thunderstorm watches. So with these watches, at any point in time, we could get a warning. What a watch means is the environment is perfect for a storm to develop, and when the storms develop, they can become severe. Underneath that severe thunderstorm watch, and our threats today are large hail. We've already had reports of golf ball size hail with some of these storms, and even tennis ball size hail. And then we also pose the threat of isolated tornadoes. We already have tornado warnings out there just south of Fort Stockton. We've already seen 3 tornado warnings so far, including the one that is still active until 5:30 this evening. Now, areas in the yellow, we're underneath that tornado watch. Again, we are continuing to monitor these storms as they are moving through. We're going to go back and switch to radar and show you where these storms are located and where we're seeing most of that rainfall. Again, tornado warned storm just south of Fort Stockton. If this is in your commute, stay out of the area and take shelter. If you know anyone that is in that area, if it's anyone that is traveling, we want to make sure that they are safe. Let them know that there is a tornado warned storm till 5:30 p.m. Fort Stockton area flash flood warnings could cause some concerns with traveling. We're going to continue to see those storms move through. And then we also have that severe thunderstorm warning just south of Pecos on Highway 285, and then making its way for us here into Monahans. So it's really starting to rain. Rain is really coming down in areas for us in Odessa. Flash flood warning, which means that once we head throughout the afternoon hours, we got lots of rain into the evening. We're going to continue to see that rainfall, which can pose any flooding threats as you're heading into your evening. So if we have those events going on tonight, and I know many of you may have had plans, I apologize, because we are getting these storms and they are really, really coming down. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning right now that was just issued until 6 p.m. So it's starting off near Monahans. You're seeing these storms really start to popcorn up. They're really firing up, and we're seeing new severe warned storms as well. So at any point in time, we could get these severe thunderstorm warnings. This is until 6 p.m. A new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued, and we're starting in areas near Monahans, traveling on I-20, making your way into Odessa. You are going to run into lots and lots of rain on I-20 and Highway 385, just south areas near Odessa, Pleasant Farms, in those areas. And we are seeing reports of heavy rainfall and even hail. So once we're traveling in these areas, you do want to make sure you are staying weather aware, especially Highway 385. We're really getting lots of reports of heavy downpours, and we're going to continue to see this rainfall throughout the day. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to our meteorologist, Jordan Frazier. He's going to go ahead and take it over from there and keep you all up to date on what the events are unfolding.
Yeah, thanks, Aurora. There's just a whole lot of stuff going on, and unfortunately, it's an absolute mess. And you know what? We're not going anywhere until this tornado warning goes away. So while it might not be affecting your area, we are talking about a life-threatening situation. We are not getting off the air until that tornado warning goes away. And it has already been confirmed on the ground by multiple storm spotters across the region. It goes away at 5:30. That is assuming that the storm itself has weakened enough to a point. So unfortunately, you are stuck with us until this entire system goes away. And you know what? It is an absolute mess, and it's very hard to explain exactly what's going on, but you have two large-scale systems. You kind of have a bit of a squall line that's wasn't necessarily a squall line to begin with. It was initially formed by multiple storms kind of colliding together. That's the stuff we're kind of talking about in Monahans, Kermit, Andrews, Odessa. And you know what? At least right now, we just have that two severe thunderstorm warnings. One of them is going to be the one in Monahans and in Thorntonville, as well as Penwell. That one is in effect until about 6 o'clock. We're looking at about 60-mile-per-hour winds within that actual storm itself, and we're also looking at about, looks like $half sized hail. So nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, but of course areas that aren't under that severe warning, well, you can obviously see just how much rain has fallen over the last couple of hours. That has led to that flash flood warning. We're talking about rapidly rising waters. Those street trains aren't able to keep up with a lot of this stuff. And you know what? We're just still seeing an absolute mess. Even the sky cam right above me, that's going to be showing downtown Odessa, and it's showing just a lot of people not on the roads. Thank goodness, too. You guys should not be out driving in this. The rule goes, turn around, don't drown. And you know what? They're absolutely right with that, because even if you have a big lifted truck, it doesn't take that much water to move a vehicle, and the last thing you want to do is to be in that vehicle while the waters are taking it away. All right, zooming back out again. We're still keeping an eye on that tornado warning storm. That's going to be, again, south of Fort Stockton in Pecos County, right along 285. It's almost following the road exactly. Let's get the latest details on this one, because this has been the big story. This is why the Kentucky Derby is not on right now. Still, weather spotters have confirmed a tornado, damaging tornado alongside tennis ball sized hail. Tennis ball sized hail. You want to make sure that flying debris will be very dangerous to those caught without protection and, of course, without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is also going to be quite likely in this scenario. Tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mostly rural areas of central Pecos County, but until that tornado warning goes away, we are not going away either. Repeat, tornadoes on the ground. This has been confirmed by the National Weather Service. And of course, we also had our own eyes in the sky from Justin Weaver. He's actually based out of the National Weather Service of Lubbock, but he was able to capture a beautiful picture of that tornado at its peak. And you know what? He's still saying that it is continually roping out, but also gaining strength and coming back in. That tornado doesn't look to be going anywhere. Now, here's the best kind of situation with this tornado is that it's not rain wrapped. Well, you can certainly see rain near it. You can also see it coming, and it certainly looks like a decent sized tornado. That's why it is continuing to be of importance that you guys are taking cover and making sure that you are safe. Now, when you have these tornadoes coming through and even just these strong severe thunderstorms, make sure that you are in your safe place. That's going to be in the center part of your house, away from windows. Could be a closet, could be a bathroom. Cover your head. Make sure you got some kind of head protection, whether it be a helmet, blanket, pillows, something at least substantial. You know, do with what you have. It could even be a mattress too. I've seen people do that. And you know what? Hey, that tornado warning still kind of struggling to go away at this point. And honestly, I don't blame it, because there is just a lot of energy in the atmosphere right now that is allowing these storms to kind of stay in place. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and move it over, so that way I'm going ahead and keeping you guys informed with this entire storm as it continues to go by. Graphics are taking just a little bit to load right now. I'm changing around some of the settings so you get at least a better view of this big mess of a storm. But you know what? We also have the flash flooding associated with this. That's going to be another threat. So unfortunately, when you have some of these two different types of storms, you got tornadoes and you got flooding. Tornadoes, you want to get to the lowest part of the building, and floods, you want to get to the highest part. Luckily, we don't have those two coinciding together right now, but you know what? If that does happen, honestly, it's whatever's going to be the bigger threat, which is typically going to be that tornado. Okay, we got that tornado warning. It's over top of 285 in Fort Stockton. We still have very large hail associated with that entire system. And you know what? It's going to be going away pretty soon. It's 5:12 p.m. That tornado warning is in effect until 5:30 p.m. And you know what else? I also see plenty of activity around the rest of the area. This one just happens to be the one little rogue storm that we're kind of watching as we head into this afternoon and this evening. The other storm is actually going to be a cluster of multiple thunderstorms. That's the stuff moving through Kermit, Monahans, even out toward Andrews. If I zoom out on here, you can really start to see north of Interstate 20 just what a mess it's beginning to look like out there. The best part is a lot of these severe storms are beginning to kind of fall apart, because when you have multiple storms kind of colliding all at once, it's really not going to have a whole lot of extra effort with a lot of this stuff. So here's what I got going on. We got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. One is going to be on top of Monahans and Penwell. Let me go ahead and actually keep it on the now setting. That way we're keeping it moving now. We got the satellite. Let's go ahead and take that off so you can see the actual rain from the radar just a little bit better. Helps give you a better understanding of what we're dealing with here. Right now, that's severe thunderstorm, Monahans and Thorntonville. That's going to be the one that's severe warn. We're looking at about 60-mile-per-hour gusts, half-dollar sized hail. That's not too terribly bad. The main concern, though, is still this tornado. That's going to be that tornado warning right on top of Fort Stockton. That's going to be, right now, the main concern. The large hail across the entirety of the region. We're going to go ahead and save that right there for you guys so you can see exactly what we got going on as it's looping. And you know what? It is beginning to move south just a little bit. Let's go and put that tracker on it. I know it's in more rural areas, but that's going to be the best kind of situation where we're not seeing it hit any major cities, any major populations. It is part of a rather large kind of highway loop right now. We're talking, again, Highway 285, really seeing the majority of that effect. I'm also not seeing any significant damage being reported, but we are getting confirmed reports of this tornado. Now, outside of this warning area, we're still just getting a whole lot of activity across the entirety of the region. I know it's confusing, and I wish I could make it a lot easier, but here's the thing. We just have so much happening within this entire storm system that it's just gonna be a little bit confusing. So let's start off. We have a dry line and a cold front. The dry line separates the wet air of the east and the dry air of the west. That dry line is kind of sitting right over top of Kermit, Monahans, through Fort Stockton, maybe Pecos, down to Alpine. Now, that is typically what's giving us a lot of these severe thunderstorms as they continue across the region. All right. Now, on top of it, you get these storms. They pop up. They are on their own. They're not really associated with a large-scale line, and that's where we're kind of getting a bit of a montage of these storms. Maybe that's not the right word, but it's not a big deal. What you guys need to know is that we're just getting a big mess. It's very hard to predict any particular area when you're going to get some of this heavy rain. We're just going to track what we have and the direction it's moving. But the thing is, a lot of these are going to be moving in all different directions. If I go ahead and play this loop, yeah, it's kind of difficult to tell. They're all kind of moving in a general direction toward the northeast a little bit, or from what it seems. But again, you start to get some of these storms just popping up. Look at the southern part of Midland County. All of a sudden, these storms just come out of nowhere. You don't really notice them. And yeah, that's exactly the kind of situation we're dealing with. A lot of these pop-up showers and thunderstorms all moving different directions, all combining with each other. It makes it very hard to predict, and it makes it hard to tell exactly how long a lot of these storms will stay severe. Now, the good part about one of these storms is that the one in Fort Stockton, it's just been maintaining on its same trajectory for quite some time. Still, tornado warning that has been spotted on the ground by multiple storm chasers across the entirety of the region. Of course, one of those pictures happens to be from the National Weather Service. That is actually, it's going to be out of Lubbock, but hey, you know what? National Weather Service does do some storm chasing. This one was taken out of Fort Stockton by Justin Weaver. This was around the time that the storm first went tornado warned, and yeah, it's surprising just how long some of these tornado warnings can last. But when you have enough moisture in the atmosphere and heat as well, you tend to get a lot of rapidly developing strong showers and thunderstorms that can produce tornadoes like this, and that can stay around for quite some time. And you know what? It's unfortunate it happened to take place during the Kentucky Derby. I apologize about that. But when we do have active tornado warnings, we have to take everyone's safety into an account. Whether you are in the area of the tornado warning or not, we are going to interrupt that coverage. Those are the rules. All right. Here's what I got for the rest of this evening. I'm still looking at that level 3 risk. Now, exactly what does that mean for us? You know what? Then you know what? It actually means we're going to see the chance for more and more of that activity going into the afternoon and evening. Numerous severe storms possible. That's what that enhanced risk means. More persistent, wide